Namaskar. Today's my topic is Marathi commercial theatre. First of all, I must say that I have an emotional connect with Ninasam because I am the student of Natyaguru B.V. Karanji and also Fritz Benevitz. So, dear theatre lovers, I am sincerely thankful to Ninasam and Aksharaji for putting my views, express my views on Marathi commercial theatre. I have divided this into 5 points. First is structure of Marathi commercial theatre, financial structure of Marathi commercial theatre, experiments and creative aspect of Marathi commercial theatre, then limitations of Marathi commercial theatre, and what more could be done on these lines. If we look at the history of Marathi commercial theatre, Vishnudas Bhave performed the first Marathi play in 1842, which was fascinated by a Kannada performance. But legendary playwright Annasaheb Kirloskar is the one who truly laid the foundation of Marathi theatre. His plays Sangeet Shakuntal, Sangeet Swayamvar and Sangeet Saubhadra became so popular, and they were performed by different companies all over Maharashtra. They had tradition of having companies in which they had actors and technicians on salary basis. It was like a repertory company. It was different from that structure because it was not funded by government. Some companies were partly helped by royal families, like Bal Gandharva Sangeet Mandali was partly helped by Chhatrapati Rajarshi Shahu Maharaj from Kolhapur and Maharaj Sayajirao Gaikwad from Baroda. But mostly the companies were completely supported by common people and by common audiences, not by royal families. Today the structure has changed to a freelance system. A producer forms a company, puts money, he hires a director, he hires actors and technicians and all other things. He takes the rights of a play and he stage a performance. The actors and technicians, they can work with different companies at a time on freelance basis. Technicians also can do that. Writer can give his plays to different companies. The producer rents a theatre and a show happens. Company can tour all over Maharashtra, sometimes out of Maharashtra. Producer hires a dedicated bus for that. The buses are built according to the specific requirement and demands of the theatre. That is the strength of Marathi theatre. At the same time, that is the limitation of Marathi theatre. We will talk about that later. Some producers own the buses. The commercial structure of financial structure of Marathi theatre is my favorite subject because when I was in NSD gives fellowship to its students after completing the 3 years course. I was lucky to have that fellowship in 1991 and my topic was theatre economics. That time I had spoken to all the producers, actors and people involved in Marathi theatre and I tried to understand the financial structure of Marathi commercial theatre. Here a private producer invests money to stage a play. Today to stage a good quality production, you have to put at least 15 to 20 lakhs rupees till the first show. One needs to compensate the writer, director, stage designer, music composer, light designer, costume designer and property designer. Further, one needs to purchase the properties, the costumes, spend for the recording, set making, rehearsals, zero performance, etc. Marathi theatre relies on the sale of tickets on ticket window. That's why advertising becomes very important part of Marathi theatre. That's why the print media and social media is very important. Producer has to pay for that and the advertisement happens and it helps to for the performance. These are one-time expenses till the first show. But once the show starts, the producer has to pay everybody who is involved in the show. The writer, the director, the actors, the technicians, the operators, music operator, light operator, makeup man, and everybody. These expenses are to be covered by the tickets sold. Till then, the producer has to bear the expenses on his own. General observation is that you have to take 25 to 40 performances to achieve the financial break-even point. Sometimes it takes more than 40 shows. So, the investment break-even point. So, an advertisement of at least 25 lakh, an investment of at least 25 lakhs is required to stage a play. From Kirloskar Natak Company in 19th century, lots of producers have come in this field and produced plays till today. Today we are 182 years old. Still new people are coming and finding livelihood through these performances and through these major productions. The major difference between repertory company and commercial theatre, as I have mentioned earlier, that commercial theatre is not funded by government or any financial institute. Neither they do have any kind of sponsorships. Recently, government has started a scheme where they give 25,000 rupees per show for a play. They have a committee, they see the play, they judge the play, and according to their norms, they give the 25,000 per show. But the thing is, you have to do at least 25 shows on your own in different 6 regions of Maharashtra. And then only you are eligible to apply for the government grant. So this scheme reaches relatively very few people, less number of people. In short, unless and until one has passionate about theatre and ready to invest money in this insecure field, one doesn't enter. Last decade was an unfortunate decade for Marathi theatre because 5 major companies in Marathi theatre folded up due to sad demise of their respective owners. The next generation declined to continue, but new producers and companies have emerged and the flow of river continues. Now let us discuss the creative aspect of Marathi commercial theatre. Before talking about creativity, I must bring to your attention the taboo and grudge about the term commercial in Maharashtra or in our society. Earning through art and literature is considered as a sin or crime. The connotation of the word commercial is negative. I wonder, when a classical singer or a classical dancer demands for bidagi, that is remuneration, and he gets it, but that is not considered as a crime or sin, then why if a person wants to earn his livelihood through theatre, why it is considered as something derogatory or something not very good? Anyways, I strongly believe that especially on national level, Marathi commercial theatre is completely misportrayed and misinterpreted. It should be called professional theatre because, as I have mentioned, the connotation of word commercial is negative. It is popularly believed that cheap comedies are performed in commercial theatre. Only melodramatic plays that have middle class sensibility are produced in Marathi commercial theatre. Sometimes it is also tagged as Brahmini mentality. Acting, direction and other things are deemed substandard and money is taken as the only motive. There is no space for experimentation. This is the portrayal of Marathi theatre on national level. So let's analyze this representation and in details. First of all, I must clarify that the experimentation has to be in one's nature. It has to be a part of one's nature, one's mindset or one's mentality. Either it exists or it doesn't. If one has it, then wherever one works, one keeps experimenting, doing something new, something different, and searching something because the urge of it. If one lacks it, then one keeps doing the same thing in the same mold time and again. मराठी में कहते हैं ना कि एकाच छापाचे गणपति काढणं. सो अगर आपके अंदर वो एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन नेचर है तो आप कहीं भी जाइए, आप कुछ अलग करने की कोशिश करेंगे, और अगर वो नहीं है तो आपको कहीं भी भेज दिया जाए आप सेम चीज़ करते रहेंगे. Marathi commercial theatre has witnessed lots of experimentation in last 182 years. I remember a very funny but very important incident. When Bal Gandharva was performing Sangeet Shakuntal in around 1907 or 1908, one fine morning, and at that time when the word experimentation or the word realism was not in the realm of Marathi theatre. Nobody knew about that. But one fine morning, Bal Gandharva thought, if one brings the real branches of trees and brings real flowers to create jungle, then why one cannot bring a real animal for the scene of jungle? So he talked to his backstage artist and they brought a very cute small deer cub. And when play started, when the scene of Sakhi in Shakuntala started, the deer cub was brought on stage. People were amazed to see that. They were so happy. They were not believing their eyes. And they start clapping. They stood up just like a standing ovation and they start clapping. But unfortunately, that cute small deer was not used to such standing ovations, so he got scared. And he started running, but he saw actors standing in his way, so he jumped in the audience. So the audience started going out of the hall, they started running out of the hall, and the experiment was failed. But madness helps you to find new ways. Now we see use of animals in plays. Even NSD has done it many times. Thus, if one sees the journey of commercial theatre, one can see experiments. Revolving stage was used many times. Experiments in different style and genre were successfully staged. Now let us look at the presentation styles explored in Marathi commercial theatre in last 182 years. It started with musicals. Bal Gandharva, Keshav Bhosle, and they were performing musical plays written by Anna Sahib Kirloskar, Kaka Sahib Khadilkar, Ram Ganesh Gadkari. So they were musical plays. Then the era of social play in 3 acts was emerged and it became popular. Then family drama, mythological drama, historical plays and suspense thrillers were produced and well accepted by audiences. It's noteworthy that some of the mythological and historical plays talked about ethos of modern life. For example, the eternal conflict between two generations, that is generation gap, was brought in focus through the relationship of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj through a play called Jag Utha Raigad. Raigadala Jeva Zaag Yete. So, the plays talking about social problem, even absurd plays were staged in commercial theatre. Musical theatre also changed. The musical theatre which was in Bal Gandharva era was changed. People like, so many people like Jitendra Abhisheki and all, they bring new plays with different kind of music. Katyar Kaळजात घुसली and Lekure Udand Zali, there were many examples. Avgha Rang Ekachi Wala was a recent production which was a musical play. And today, I am happy to announce that yesterday my play was performed here. And today, my new play, Gosht Sanyukta Manap Manachi, is opening in Mumbai, which is also a new kind of musical theatre. In 1921, when Mahatma Gandhi decided to collect some fund in the name of Lokmanya Tilak, Swarajya Fund, he started collecting the fund from people, and theatre fraternity people like Bal Gandharva decided to contribute in it. So they decided to stage a play with the collaboration of Keshavrao Bhosle. They both were working in different companies, and it was like a polarization. People who liked Bal Gandharva, they were not with Keshavrao Bhosle. They were avoiding Keshavrao Bhosle, and vice versa. So if these two stalwarts come together, it was like sun and moon coming together in the same sky, or low tide and high tide coming together in the same ocean. So they came together for this noble cause, and they performed a play, Manapman, Sangeet Manapman. It was collaborative effort, that's why it called Sanyukta Manapman. They got 16,800 rupees of profit through that production, and they gave it to the funds. They contributed to the fund. The 100 rupees ticket was purchased by people when the gold was 15 rupees for per gram. So, musical theatre of Bal Gandharva era now changed, and plays like Katar Ka Azad Ghusli and all now they are staged. The theatre kept changing itself from time to time and became more and more contemporary and relevant. Humor is the unique strength of Marathi theatre. As I was talking about the play Ankad Parde, humor is something which is within us. I mean, when a Marathi playwright starts writing, he cannot avoid humor, I think. So, it's a unique strength of Marathi theatre. We have a wide range of humor: comedies, farcical comedies, slapstick comedy, satire, black comedy, and comedy with words, comedy where words dominate the drama, the play. Marathi theatre was also fascinated by European and Russian theatre. So we had some direct translations. But instead of direct translations, there is a tradition of adaptation. We have lots of adaptation of Shakespeare, Molière, Ibsen, Tennessee Williams, Eugene O'Neill, Dario Fo, and lot many, George Feydeau, and lot many. The adaptation were done in such a way that it was difficult to believe that it was not originally an Indian play. Vijay Tendulkar, Anand Kanekar, Vishram Bedekar, P.L. Deshpande, Viva Shirvadkar, Vasant Kanetkar did beautiful adaptations. Sometimes few playwrights did not announce that the play was based on such European or Russian plays, and it was difficult to know, and it was sometimes no one could notice it. So the credit goes to the original playwright. But there was a great critic called Madhav Manohar. Immediately he would write the name of the play, the plot of the play, and the playwright had to accept the fact that yes, it was based on that, but it was not completely like that. But we have huge tradition of adaptation of plays. Even the folk theatre of Maharashtra was also adapted in commercial theatre. Tamasha and Lavani, which had rural fragrance, become popular. The rural sensibility and lifestyle were easily internalized by commercial theatre. The credit must go to Dadu Indurikar and Dada Konke. You know Dada Konke through his films of double meaning humor, but Dada Konke has a huge contribution on Marathi commercial theatre through his Tamasha or Vaganatya. Tamasha, which when is performed in commercial theatre, it becomes Vaganatya. So, thus the urban audience got connected with creative expression of rural and agriculture society. Now, novels, poems, and stories were also adapted in play form. In, I think, last 15 to 20 years, Kahani Ka Rangamanch has become very popular in Delhi. It was something new thing for them. They would take a story and they would make a play out of the story. But Marathi theatre has done is much before. So many good novels, stories, and poems were adapted in a play form. Thus, content-wise, commercial theatre is rich and meaningful right from the beginning. But as noted earlier, it was wrongly portrayed on national level. Now let us see the wide range of subjects. It touches human relations. It touches the changes in the society, even industrialization and globalization. It analyzes the past through plays, psychoanalysis of human mind, questioning the existence of God, and the depiction of biggest strike of factory workers in Indian history was brought in commercial Marathi theatre, firstly by Praveen Shantaram in the play Amcha Ya Gharat, and later by other playwrights also. Plays analyzing and many times strongly condemning the old tradition and customs, extramarital affairs, black magic, certain mental disorders, social problems, sex and sexuality were staged in Marathi commercial theatre. Play like Sukhant talked about trauma of a transgender professor. Play like Tendulkar's Kanyadan talks about Dalit movement. Many more such plays were milestone of Marathi commercial theatre. We also have a big tradition of political plays. If somebody still has doubt about Marathi, about the creative expression of Marathi commercial theatre, I would love to mention the name of few plays. I know you must have staged it before under the tag of either experimental or parallel theatre, but they were the performances and plays of Marathi commercial theatre. Firstly, produced in Marathi commercial theatre. Vijay Tendulkar's Sakharam Binder was staged first in Marathi commercial theatre. So was Satish Alekar's Dusra Samna, Jaywan Dalvi's Sandhya Chhaya, and Barrister. I consider Barrister the greatest play ever of Marathi theatre. Most of the plays of Vijaya Mehta was produced in commercial theatre, including Mahesh Elkunjwar's Chirebandi Wada, which was firstly staged in Marathi commercial theatre. Now it is called experimental and parallel. My play that you saw yesterday was first brought on commercial stage by veteran director Damu Kenkre and his son Vijay Kenkre. Rangayana did the Kannada translation of my commercial play Dehabhana, which was translated by Sarju Katkar. It was a commercial play. I think that is enough to understand the creative level of Marathi commercial theatre. Now we see some other important characteristics of Marathi theatre. Marathi theatre became a bridge between different social movements, political movements and people. Kichakvad and Sangeet Sharda was the examples. Kichakvad helped to gather people for freedom movement, and Sangeet Sharda condemned the custom of marriage of an old man with a young girl. But interestingly, very important thing, that Marathi commercial theatre was never surrendered to any political ideology or any ism. It has remained truly democratic. In fact, right from the beginning, it has provided a platform to different ideologies and isms, but didn't surrender to them. Thus, this is why we have play like Gandhi versus Gandhi, which underlines and adores the greatness of Gandhiji. At the same time, we have a play like Gandhi versus Ambedkar, portraying the ideological differences between Gandhi and Ambedkar. And again, we have a play called Me Nathuram Godse Bolto Hai, which glorifies the perspective of Nathuram. Isn't it an example of true democratic mindset of Marathi theatre? Marathi theatre has gone through many hurdles and turmoils. When cinema became popular, we felt that now theatre is over. But it survived and flourished. Then 2 world wars made the huge impact but survived. Then television came, but it couldn't stop theatre. And even after COVID, Marathi theatre has continued producing different plays with new content and style. Now, my 4th point. Does that mean all is well? We are completely satisfied? There is nothing to do anymore? No. There are many limitations that worry us. First, the nature of touring, as I mentioned earlier. The touring nature and the structure of doing shows in different auditorium is the strength of Marathi theatre as well as it's a limitation of Marathi theatre. Though it helps to reach out wider audiences, we have to set up the stage in about an hour and wind up in an hour only. Then we have to move to another place in the same bus. it restricts the design of the play. Our set designers always complain when we call them that I have written a play. Oh, what is there is something new to do for me. They complain about structure, they complain about the structure. Our vision is restricted by the condition that the set should be small enough to fit in a bus along with the cast and crew. And it should take time to load, and it shouldn't take time to load and unload. When we see the design of the plays in other states, especially in Delhi or in Northeast, we get a complex. This makes an impact on our writing too. Our plays are mostly Shabda Pradhan, that is word based. It may be because of that. Another thing is our play doesn't compel the actors to work on their bodies, as is seen in Northeast. These are our limitations. The body language is dominated by the Shabda Pradhan, word based plays. And when we see the plays of Ratan Thiyam or the play which we saw day before yesterday, we gets a complex ki we don't use body language the way one had to use. Though we have covered one more limitation, though we have covered many styles and have wide range of subjects, I think we still lack the expressing the life in rural areas, factory workers. Though we have plays about Dalit and oppressed class, there are very fewer in numbers. Muslim community is not represented in Marathi theatre yet. Recently, I have written a novel called named Inshallah that talks about the reformist movement in Muslim community. But Marathi theatre has still not shown the courage to give an outlet to suppression of Muslim women, and not yet talked about the evil customs that exploits Muslim women. Maharashtra, one more limitation, Maharashtra have lots of dialects, Malwani, Satari, and lots of dialects. But except Malwani, these dialects have not got true representation in Marathi stage. If it happens, it will contribute the richness of Marathi theatre, richness of Marathi language, because we have a lot of dialects. Even in Konkan, we have several different dialects. Even Marathi from Kolhapur is different from Marathi from Kolhapur, which has only 2.5 hours journey. The Marathi which is spoken in Pune, Mumbai, totally different. So I think dialects should be considered, and we should have more and more plays using the different dialects. Society, one more limitation, I think it is the very common limitation all over the country. Scarcity of learned and balanced criticism is problem that restricts theatre from growing. We don't have any system which can groom the critics, which would be able to understand the theatre not as just literature, but as they should understand the theatrical language and they should criticize the play. That is lacking in Marathi. Very important thing which I must mention here talking about Marathi commercial theatre, that in the decade of 90 was very important in Marathi theatre. On national level in theatre, 60s, in the decade of 60, 60 ka jo dashak hai, that was very considered as very important. But in Maharashtra, in 90s, a very important change had happened. Many youngsters from different parts of Maharashtra, they took the formal education from different theater training institutes. For example, some of us came from National School of Drama, some of us came from Aurangabad Drama Department, Kolhapur Drama Department, Goa Drama Department, and other parts of Maharashtra. They were formally trained, they had taken the education of theatre, they came to Mumbai, and they decided to take theatre as their livelihood. They took theatre as their profession, and they continued doing theatre without doing any creative compromises. At the same time, people who had taken the education or training through different workshops, theatrical workshops, they also joined these people, and you will see a drastic change in Marathi commercial theatre in 90s. They started doing meaningful plays of different style. I have not only witnessed it, proudly I can say I was part of it. One more thing, just now I mentioned that they all came from different parts of Maharashtra and they went to Mumbai. This is also one more limitation of Marathi commercial theatre, that Marathi commercial theatre is restricted to Mumbai and a little bit in Pune. So everybody has to come to Mumbai, everybody has to come to Pune to do the career or to the theatre and take as a profession. I think it should be decentralized. There should be companies doing commercial plays in Kolhapur also. There should be people doing theatre, commercial theatre in different Aurangabad, Nagpur, different. There should be different companies, which was there earlier in the era of Bal Gandharva. The people and these companies should bring the place to Pune and Mumbai. The place from Pune and Mumbai should go to all over the Maharashtra. That should happen, and that only would help to grow the Marathi commercial theatre properly. Otherwise, the centralized structure of Marathi commercial theatre becomes a big problem. Now, I think these are the limitations, these are the things which we keep talking about every time in seminars, in every time when we meet personally. We are working on it, but of course, now the television and OTT platform has made a drastic change. I always say that earlier it was very easy because all the mediums, cinema, television, when cinema came, when colored cinema came, they tried to snatch the audience. But when television came, it didn't focus on the audience. They took the actors and technicians. Now, there are no actors, there are very few actors and very few people who are dedicated to the theatre. The sad part is, the director and writer has to take the file in his hands and they have to do the proxy for the actor who is doing daily soaps somewhere else. But there are companies and there are people who strongly focus on theatre and they ask the actors to give complete 1 month for the rehearsals. Otherwise, they don't cast such actors. This is also happening. But after a certain point, we cannot make it compulsory for the actor. This is the limitation and with which we are fighting too. So, while concluding, I can say that we are not satisfied, but we are proud of our journey we have done till date. And we are hopeful that new changes will happen and overcome the limitations. Thank you.